Welcome to Biz Bites Monday. Today we're going to talk about one very important question that you probably are not asking during your sales calls. So my job is to help you get more yeses to your sales calls during your sales calls and to help you better understand why a client is saying yes versus why they are saying no. So, first of all, if you're not familiar with the need to have a flow, there's 5 steps in a sales call. 5 steps. So, your job is to go through these 5 steps so that ultimately you either have a yes or you have a no. Right? We want to have our clients or the person on the other end of the call to be in a decisive place, right? So it's either a yes or it's a no. When we leave it up in the air and we don't ask this one question, what happens is it can be stressful for the client. Nobody really knows what the next steps are. So here's how to help you get clarity. So you go through the 5 steps. Here's the one question that most people actually do not ask. Ready? Here it is. It's so profound. Write this down. Is there any reason you wouldn't want to get started now? Let me repeat it because it's so simple. Is there any reason you wouldn't want to get started now? Frankly, this is a great question or formula that this formula for the question is great for a lot of things. Is there any reason why we can't have you, or is there any reason why we can't go out to dinner? Is there any reason why you can't pick up those clothes on the floor, young Sally Jane? Is there any reason why we can't get started right now? So when we ask that on a sales call, this is after you've gone through getting to know them, you find out what their big dreams are, you find out what their big problems are, you found out what they've done before, you've built the rapport, all the 5 steps, and you're asking the question, is there any reason why we can't get started? So what do you think happens? It allows that person to either say, no, there's no reason. There's no reason. I'm ready to get started. Or that's when they will give you some of the objections. What are some of the top objections? Ready? Time. Oh, I just need more time. I need to think about it. This isn't the right time. It's Christmas. I'm pregnant. The dog just died. My mom is sick. I'm going to college. I graduated college. I'm getting married. I'm having a baby, like all the things, right? So part of your job as the expert and as the helper, the consultant, the advisor, the strategist, whatever your title is, your job is to understand what are the top objections your potential client has. So time is one, money can be another one. Okay. So money can look like, I need to talk to someone else. So if I ask the question, was there any reason why we can't get started today, Sally? If I wasn't clear in my sales conversation that she's the main decision maker, I've left out a major piece of the puzzle. Or if I've talked to a CEO and she needs to talk to the COO or the CFO or her partner. So a lot of times you'll get, I need to talk to someone else. So it's the money, and it might not be even the dollar figure. Okay, keep that in mind. So sometimes people are like, oh my God, they don't have the money. That's never the case, you guys. I want you to get really clear. People, when they value something, they will find the money. When you have somebody on a call with you, I want you to recognize the opportunity at hand. You've done something right. You've done something well. Your marketing has worked. If you're getting the right people on the phone, you've done a good job. And so it could just be that she's afraid. She's nervous. She's never invested that much money before, what have you. Or it could be, here's a call, I have to ask my husband. Well, what would your husband say? Right? So there's different ways to overcome the objections. And that's almost really a negative connotation, right? Overcome the objections. What you're really trying to do is uncover, is this a fit for her? Is this a fit for you as the business owner? Right? Is this a fit for you? Because we don't want to sign every client. And we want to get skilled at asking these questions. Is there any reason why we couldn't get started now? Write that down. Make sure you're using that. We want to get skilled at asking because here's the big one, if you continue to have sales calls with people who end up not signing with you, let me tell you a couple problems, right? Number one, it could be your marketing. You could be saying something, right, that you're not realizing you're saying, and it's bringing in a client that's not the right fit for your offer. Okay, here's an example. You talk about cat grooming, cat grooming, cat grooming. I love cat grooming, and all you get on the phone are dog people. So there's a misstep there. Okay, it could look like you're saying, you really want to help people lose 50 pounds, and you keep getting people on the phone who like, I just want to lose that last 10 pounds of my baby weight. Unintentionally, you're probably saying something that's bringing in the wrong kind of client. Here's another thing. You could also look at, depending on what kind of service you offer, that every person that gets on a call with you is actually the right person. Let me say that again, because that can be a little tricky. That every person who gets on a call with you could be the right person. It's just you haven't learned the skill to have a sales call with them, have a clarity call, have a discovery call, I'm just going to call it sales calls, guys, because that's what it is. Let's stop pussyfooting around the whole, like, it's not sales. It's not a sales call. It's a service call to see whether or not, no, it's a sales call. When you own a business, you're in business to make money. Making money comes from selling your services. So that's what we went over today in your Biz Bite Monday, 10 minutes or less of action steps to get you started for the day. Write this question down. Ready? After you've gone through the 5 steps in your sales call, you're asking the question, is there any reason why we can't get started today, Sally, Bobby, Susie? I gave you 2 examples of objections. Let me give you another resource. This is your bold action step. This is your bold action step for the week, because I know some of you, here's the last thing, that you don't have a sales script. I want you to, here, it's marybicknell.com/closing the deal. Ready? marybicknell.com/closing the deal. I'm going to give you my sales process, my template. And look, the truth is, people are like, this doesn't sound like me. Well, first of all, make it a little bit of your branded language. And here's the other reality. It probably doesn't sound like you, because if you're not used to having sales calls, you're not used to going through a script. Don't wing it. If you've gotten someone on the phone with you, you've invested time, money, energy to have somebody actually get on the phone with you, friends, don't wing it. Care enough to prepare for that experience of having a conversation. Selling is a skill that is 100% something you can learn, I promise. So marybicknell.com/closing the deal. That's what your first action step, and go through that. And your second action step is thinking about what are some of the objections that your ideal client has. Until next time, every Monday, your Biz Bites for the week. Get your week started off right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.